Hi creatives, greetings from my end, Dimma here, and on today's tutorial I'll be sharing with you how to make this lovely circle top that you can see on the screen. It has two straps and you would definitely love this tutorial. You can see how it's looking on me and it's really gorgeous. You can rock it with your skirt, your trouser, just how you please. You can style it as you please and you would definitely love this tutorial, trust me. So now, without wasting much of our time, let's just delve right into it. Now these are the materials I'll be using. This is a sort of chantilly lace, but it's a bale fabric, but it has sort of lycra that is used to blend it. That is how the material came. And here I have my pattern paper, I have my ruler, I have my pattern master, I have my measurement tape. And then to start this tutorial, I'll just draw a line. I'm going to start with a basic pattern. You know how much I like using basic patterns to get final patterns. Okay, so now I just marked 3 by 3 and I drew my neckline. Now the next thing to do is just to go ahead and mark your shoulder measurement divided by 2. You just mark a horizontal line as so. You will see how to measure all this in this tutorial. Okay, I explained it later in the tutorial. Here I marked my across chest, which is 5 inches from the line I drew, and then I marked the across chest. Don't worry, I will show you how to measure all this using my miniature form after this pattern making. Here I marked my bust level or bust point, and then the waist, and then the length of the top, which is 25. I used 25 inches for this. Then I marked here, that is the bust level and also the waist. Now the final length is the top length, okay, just for clarity's sake. And then if you like, you can also mark your across chest. That's still fine, but I use dotted lines to do mine. So the next thing to do is just to mark your bust measurement divided by 4. Anything you get is what you're going to mark here. Okay, if you have 40 as bust measurement, divided by 4 is 10, and that is what we are marking here. Okay, this is the waistline. I was contemplating on marking it or not since it's a circle dress, but I finally decided to mark it, which is the waist measurement divided by 4. Then you add 1 inch that intake. That is all I did there, and I connected the bust line to the waistline. And here is the level of the blouse length. I just marked the hip measurement divided by 4 there, and I connected to the waist. Now the next thing to do is just to drop the shoulder by 1 and connect this to the neck. Okay, now I am drawing my armhole. Now this is what I did. Armhole measurement divided by 2. I will show you how to take these measurements using the miniature form. And I just connected from shoulder to the across chest, and then to where the armhole touched the line by the side. That is the bust line. Okay, not the bust level, I mean the line by the side. Okay, right now this is the armhole and this is how to measure it. As I promised earlier, I'm trying to explain here how to take your armhole measurement. Just take it round your arm like so and add 2 inches to your measurements. Okay, anything you get, you will divide it by 2. If you get 18, you just add 2 inches and that is 20. Okay, that is your armhole. Here I'm just showing how to measure your shoulder. That is from one shoulder bone to the other. Okay, now this is across chest. Measure level 5 and just measure your across chest just like so. That is how to take these measurements. I hope you understand, and I hope it's easy and self-explanatory. Okay, now let's continue with our pattern making. Having said all this, now this is just the bust level that I marked to get to the bust line by the side. So now I mark the difference between the front and the back, and I'm connecting to the bust point. Please, if this is not clear, you may have to watch the basic torso foundation tutorial, which I will be linking in the description box. Here I just marked the dart and I connected to the 1 inch drop from the bust point, and I marked 5.5 inches there, bust to bust, and then I completed the dart. And that is all I did for here. Please, if you are still confused, you will have to look at the description box to just get, how every information you need on how to make a basic bodice block. No, a basic torso foundation. Yes. So here I came up by 4 inches and I'm connecting like so. I'm using my free hand to connect. Okay, just to get that curve. You can go up more than 4 inches. You can go up by 5 inches. Just feel free to do you. I'm just trying to take that curve by the side of the circle top. One thing with using a basic pattern is it will really give you that freedom or that opportunity to manipulate the pattern the way you want. And that is why I like it so much. You can see how I curved the side and you see how easy it will be. Here I dropped my neckline by 5. You can do yours, you can use 6 for yours. That's fine. Okay, 6 will still be very fine, but what I used in this tutorial is 5. So here I'm just marking the straps, which is 1.5 inches away from the neckline and then 1.5 inches away from the first point. So I'm connecting these to the chest line. Just watch closely. So this is how I connected it. I was okay with that level. I just took a length of about 4 inches for that strap and ended it there. So this is like 4 inches from the strap and I'm connecting to the point I marked for the neck drop earlier. Watch closely, you will understand. And then I connected to the armhole like so. Okay, I hope you are seeing the shape of the circle blouse or circle top even on this pattern paper. Okay, so here I drew a line to take a contour, and what I took there is 1/2 inch and I'm connecting to the bust point. This is a contour guideline that will ensure that the armhole does not gape. Okay, you see how perfect this pattern came out. If you want to get that, you have to follow all the rules that I put here. Now, this is what I may be taking for my back. I may not want it to drop as much as the front. That is choice. But if you want yours to drop as much as the front, feel free to do that. That is also fine. Now, I'll go ahead and cut out the pattern. Now, you can see the gape control I did for the armhole. That is another important, thing. It's another, what do I call it? Benefits of using our basic pattern, right? So I was able to take that guideline and contour guideline to ensure that the armhole does not gape. Some of these things you may not be able to do it on free pattern making. Okay, so right now I am going ahead to just cut out the strap. This is the strap. I will cut it out, which is about 4 inches or 4¼ inches. Now see the line I drew earlier. This is serving as a slash line right now because I'm going to close the side bust dart and also the contour guideline. Watch closely to see what I'm doing. I'm closing the contour guideline right now. I'm closing the contour guideline and I will also be closing the side bust dart. This will open up the slash line that I made from the hem of the dress to the bust point. You can see that the slash line is now open. I will also close this guideline and it will open up the slash line more. So this is the pattern and it is complete right now. You can see how beautiful it's looking and you are going to see how I'll be making use of this. Now I've cut out the strap and I'm just writing on it strap, and I'll keep it aside till when I will need it. The next thing to do is to fold up my fabric appropriately and start cutting this pattern. I used about 1¼ yard to make this dress, though this is a piece remaining from my previous pattern, but then it is about 1¼ yard will be fine for someone that is about size 12. In fact, 1 yard will be fine for someone that is even size 10. Okay, so here you can see how I folded it. I first folded on fold, regular fold, and then I folded on triangle like so, because I want to cut the front and the back pattern at once. So having folded it like this, I am going to place the pattern like so. I'm folding it properly to give me the bursts, ease that I need, because this is a piece, but trust me, 1 yard can do this for you if you are just about, let's say, size 10. But if you are 12, maybe 1/4, size 14 upwards, you can be thinking about 1.5. But definitely, if you get bigger than that, you may need like 2 yards. Yes. So this is how I'm cutting the back. I just raised the neckline a bit more than the front neckline, and I cut it out like so. So now I'm not going to take the shape of this waist, right? Because this is a flay. I'm not going to make use of that shape by the side. I'm just going to, allow the flay to flow normally. You can see what I have here. It's added about 5 inches to this, and I'm just curving the line to get to where I am going to flay this top up to. I hope you understand. Now this is the line I am going to take. Air disturbed me here, and I had to use pins to pin it down because I'm just by the side of the window. There is too much air. There was too much air this place, and yes, that's fine. I had to pin it down with my pins, which is the proper thing to do, by the way. Then I had to cut out the hem just like so. Guys, if you've not subscribed to my channel, what are you waiting for? Go ahead and subscribe and join the family. I share lots of fun sewing tutorials that you will definitely be learning from on this channel, and you will not regret it. Now I cut the front and back neckline the same because I know that the front is definitely lower than the back. So I cut the front and back, then I separated it and brought out one to then cut it down to the level of the front neckline. Okay. So that is just what I am doing here. Guys, as I'm saying, subscribe to my channel and you will not regret it. I share lots of fun tutorial here on the channel that you will definitely learn lots of tips and sewing techniques and sewing pattern making from. Thanks for subscribing, and also turn on your notification bell to be the first to know each time I upload my videos. Thank you. So right now, these are my patterns, the front and the back. I will keep it aside and then start working on the strap. Watch closely to see what I did for the strap. Okay, here what I have is about 4 1/4 inches. So that is what I'll be using to cut out the strap. Now, as this thing is 4 1/4, the total length will be about 8.5 inches. That is for the front and the back strap. Okay. The front and the back are virtually the same, except for the neckline that I made the back a bit higher than the front. Now, watch what I'm doing. I'm checking where it's stretching more. I don't want to cut it along where it is stretching more. So I chose where it is stretching less, okay, for lengthwise grain of this strap. So where I'm cutting lengthwise right now is where this fabric is stretching less. I don't want to use where it's stretching so much so that it will not, affect the pattern of the dress. So having said that, I just had to measure about 1 1/4 inches here to be able to make about 1/4 inch strap. Okay, by the time I finish folding, it's going to be 1/4 inch strap. But what I'm cutting out here is 1 1/4 inches, strip. That will be enough to make about 1/4 inch strap or 3/8 inch strap. Okay, this is how I ensure that the whole part of the strap is equal. So I placed it again to cut out one more so that it will be enough for all I am going to do. So now, having cut it out, I will just go ahead and start the sewing process of this beautiful circle top. So here is the pattern. This is the front part. I will start from the center front to stitch the bias. Okay, I'll start from center front to stitch the bias. Now this bias is going to serve as the turning for the neck and also for the strap. Watch closely to see what I did, to achieve this. Now here I have stitched it down before I realized, every sewing has technique. I have to close up that place that the strap will start from, this point now. I have to finish it up. Then that is why I cut those tiny straps that I will use and turn it up like bias. I hope you understand. Now, having turned it up, you can see I did for the front and also for the back at once, so that I can continue with the rest of the neckline and armhole. So having done this, I will continue with my stitching. I've already stitched the one part of the front neckline, and yes, now I'm going to measure the length of the strap, which is about 8.5 inches. You remember the strap is about 4 1/4, double of it is 8.5, and that is what I measured and notched right now. Now from that notch, I am going to pin it down to the back neckline, just like so, and I will stitch it down round the back neckline. Okay, I'll start from the notch and stitch it down round the back neckline. So that is what I'm going to do. I will also measure 8 inches again, 8.5 inches again, and stitch the remaining part of the front pattern. Okay, now I've stitched the back. I will also measure 8. Right now, what I did was to use the other side to take the measurements. Okay, now that is what I did here, and I just notched where it landed so that everything will be uniform. I didn't bother using tape this time. Okay, so right now I am going to complete the stitching along the front neckline. Now this is what I have, and I'm just trimming out every excess thread and all. Now see how I pleated, like I folded in the other parts. The first part I stitched for the front so that everything will turn out fine after I have folded it as a bias. Now this is how I'm going to turn up this. Turn it like this so that it will form a bias turning like for the strap. Okay, turn it and stitch all through, and this is what I have after stitching all through. You can see the front neckline how it's looking. Now to make it more V-like, you're going to pinch it like this and stitch it tiny, like a dart, a very short dart, just to bring out the V part. Yes, that is just what I did, and I'm just going ahead to trim off every excess that may be there. Okay, now having done that, the next thing I will do is just to go ahead and finish up the armhole. Now see how that neckline is looking so beautiful. And then the next thing to do is to just go ahead and finish up the armhole. Okay, now this is how I'm going to hold it and stitch it down. Then I'll measure 8.5 inches and also continue for the other side of the armhole. Do well to follow the steps so that you will get exactly this. You can also use chiffon fabric for this kind of top, or lycra, or any soft fabric. You can even use Ankara, right? Because it will fall, but let it be pure cotton Ankara. It will still go well for this style. Okay, so having done this, I am going ahead to measure 8.5 inches, and then I will stitch down the remaining parts of the back armhole. So that is exactly that. I'm just doing almost exactly what I did for the neckline, okay, for the bias turning. Now I'm going to turn it like so and follow it appropriately such that when it gets to the strap, it is going to form a neat strap for the shoulder. I'm just cutting excess there because this fabric, formed a sort of bulk after I turned the bias for that point, the tiny place that I used bias to turn. So now having done that, the next thing I will do is just to fold it up appropriately and stitch the remaining part of the strap. Here I have stitched the strap, and this is what it looks like. Do well to iron and let everything look seamless and fine. I'll go ahead and close up the sides and of course hem up the hem and then stitch it down. I hemmed it and used 1/4 inch for the hemming. Now I have stitched down the allowance I gave for the sides and also serged it, and then I also serged the hem. Now I'll be turning the hem with 1/4 inch seam. Here I've turned the hem and this is how beautiful it's looking. You can see how lovely this top is even on the table. Now see how it's looking on the dress form. You can tell that this top is really fine and gorgeous. It's what you can rock in different ways. Feel free to rock it appropriately. Now after this, this is the back side, this is the front, and this is me wearing the top just to show you how lovely and gorgeous this top is. Are you going to try out this? Let me know in the comments what you think about this tutorial. Do well to like, comment, share, subscribe. Do well to like so that it will help my algorithm. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye. Love you.